You have tried everything: counseling, listening to your partner, trying to make them feel better. You're walking on eggshells, burned out, full of despair, pretty lonely. It's not a sign of strength or great faith to endure a beating that you can otherwise escape, whether that be emotional or physical. It's not valor, it's not courage to sit there and take emotional, verbal, or passive aggressive abuse and emotional manipulation and just suck it up when there's a way out. It's also not a good idea to keep beating your head against the wall trying to fix something that you can't do alone, as if you alone were the problem. A true sign of strength is recognizing your value, realizing you don't deserve that treatment, setting boundaries, having standards and expectations for yourself, and being willing to let the chips fall where they may. There are a lot of Christians in relationships like this, toxic relationships. Both partners claim to be believers, yet it's hard to imagine that someone truly filled with the Spirit could behave the way some of these people do, without acknowledging their poor behavior and the nature of that behavior, while projecting blame and still calling themselves a Christian. Meanwhile, the victim in these relationships, the one who's constantly trying to solve the problem, trying to see what they can do, trying to figure everything out. They believe they're loving this person, that they're being faithful, and that staying is the right thing to do because, after all, God hates divorce. But let me tell you what else God doesn't like. God doesn't like abuse. God doesn't like toxic relationships. God doesn't like exposing children to harmful environments during their development. God isn't asking you to sit there and maintain an environment that is spiritually, emotionally, or physically unhealthy just because He disapproves of divorce. Now, unfortunately, our social Christianity struggles with what to do with these relationships. They don't know. Just don't get a divorce. Communication, forgiveness, just don't get divorced. And people are stuck in these situations, going home, experiencing this abuse. Christian suffering doesn't mean enduring beatings of any kind, even emotional, when we can escape without compromising our faith in Jesus. The only time we're called to endure suffering is when escaping would require us to deny our faith or values. But in relationships like this, you're already doing that. That's what's happening. You're compromising your God-given value, the value that Jesus died for you to experience in Him. So the next time you're enduring the onslaught of a toxic person's abuse, remind yourself, you are a child of God. You are deserving to be treated better, especially in your marriage. Even better yet, spend your time meditating on that truth, reading about it, and grounding yourself in an identity that can't be shaken. You can do that alone. You don't need a partner for that. And that identity is yours if you want it. Now, counseling is something you should try if you haven't. But you are going to be hard-pressed to find someone in the Christian and pastoral realm who doesn't encourage you to just stay in it and work on the relationship, to see it as not that bad. The toxic person isn't going to show up toxic in therapy. That person who you're dealing with, your counselor, has no idea what's really going on in the home. It's lonely. I can't tell you the amount of people who reach out and tell me their story. And when I start telling them the person they might be with could be a narcissist, and at the very least have very deep-seated underlying trauma that they haven't dealt with, and begin to describe their behaviors, and they go, yes, that's what it is. Their eyes open wide because someone is relating to them in their experience for the first time. And they can begin to see that they're not alone in the situation, that there is a way to manage themselves in that situation, but perhaps they may have to manage their way out. And at the end of the day, that might be the right route.